Title: Am I the asshole for kicking my brother and his emotional support clown out of my wedding? Hi everyone, I'm a 29-year-old woman and I just got married last weekend. What was supposed to be the happiest day of my life turned into a full-on disaster. And yes, clowns were involved. Let me explain. My older brother Luke, who's 31, has always been a little eccentric. He jumps from one extreme hobby to the next. A few years ago, it was parkour. Then it was medieval sword fighting. Last year, he got really into clowning. I thought it was just a joke at first. He took a clown class, bought a red nose, and started calling himself Boppo. But he didn't stop there. He started dressing like a clown in public to practice. He learned to juggle, took on birthday gigs, and even got a sad clown tattoo on his arm. It got to the point where he'd show up to family dinners with face paint and balloon animals. Then, a few months ago, Luke was diagnosed with anxiety. He told us clowning helped him cope, which, fine, whatever helps you manage your mental health, I support that. But he also told us that he had found something called an emotional support clown. That clown's name is Sparkles. Sparkles is a middle-aged man who wears the full outfit. Face paint, rainbow wig, giant shoes, the whole look. Luke said Sparkles calms him down and helps him function in stressful environments. And he started bringing Sparkles with him. Everywhere, family barbecues, doctor's appointments, and even my aunt's funeral. Sparkles honked his horn during the eulogy. When I sent out the invitations for the wedding, I made one thing very clear. I called Luke personally and said, I love you, I want you at my wedding, but this is a black tie event, no costumes, no clown makeup, and please, no Sparkles. He laughed and said, don't worry, I'm not going to bring a clown to your wedding. Well, the wedding day came. Everything looked beautiful. I was walking down the aisle when I heard something strange. A honk, then another honk. I turned my head and saw them, Luke and Sparkles, both in full clown attire. Luke had on clown shoes, rainbow suspenders, and a red nose. Sparkles wore a full clown suit and was juggling. People were gasping. My grandmother looked like she was going to faint. I stopped walking and asked the wedding coordinator to remove them from the venue. Luke argued that this was a reasonable mental health accommodation and that I was discriminating against his coping needs. Sparkles, meanwhile, pulled out a kazoo and said, I'm here to keep the vibe calm. I told them both to leave. Luke got angry and threw a whipped cream pie on the ground. Sparkles slipped on it and had to be helped up by my uncle. The entire ceremony stopped for 10 minutes. My parents were furious with me. My mom said I humiliated Luke. My dad said I should have let him be himself. Even my younger sister told me I overreacted. But I feel like I clearly communicated my boundaries. This was my wedding, not a circus. My husband supported me completely. He said, I married you, not Boppo and his friend. Now Luke is posting all over social media saying I ruined his sense of safety and that society doesn't respect neurodivergent people. Sparkles made a TikTok saying I silenced joy. That video now has over 12,000 views. So, am I the asshole for kicking out my brother and his emotional support clown? TLDR, my brother brought a literal clown to my wedding, even after I asked him not to, claimed it was for anxiety support. I asked them to leave. Now my family says I embarrassed him. Am I the bad guy? Update 1 week later. Hi again. Thanks for all the support and kind words. I have a few updates. Luke still hasn't called me, but he did send a letter, a real handwritten letter, on circus-themed stationery. He wrote that I violated his emotional safety zone and that weddings are outdated institutions lacking space for creative healing. He also sent me a bill. Yes, a bill. For $223. He wanted me to pay for Sparkles' appearance fee, clown shoe rental, and something called a clown healing retreat he's attending next month. I thought it was a joke. But he also sent a Venmo request labeled reparations. I declined. Meanwhile, Sparkles is still making TikToks. In his latest video, he mimes being kicked out of a wedding and throws a fake bouquet in the trash. My mom watched it and said it was very moving. I can't believe this is my real life. We're planning a second, smaller reception with just close friends and my husband's family. No clowns, no drama. Update 2 weeks later. Final update, hopefully. Luke and Sparkles have now started a GoFundMe called Clown Rights Matter. Their goal is to raise $10,000 for a nonprofit that will promote therapeutic clowning at formal events. So far, they've raised over $700. My aunt is one of the top donors. To make things even stranger, a local news station reached out. They wanted to interview me for a segment called Wedding Drama Goes Viral. I declined. I really don't want to be known as the woman who kicked out a clown on her wedding day. My job found the story. Human Resources sent me the link with a laughing emoji. My coworkers now call me the Ringmaster. As for Luke, he texted me yesterday, not to apologize but to invite me to Sparkle's birthday party. It's being held at an abandoned bowling alley, and they're calling it a clown musical showcase. I didn't respond. I love my brother, but this has gone way too far. From now on, I'm setting very clear boundaries. If clowns are involved, I'm out. Thanks for listening.